This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
Welcome back to another edition of List Building Lifestyle with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Igor Kheifets. What is up, my man?
The list building king is in the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what do you have in store for us today?
Well, Jonathan, I know not everybody likes these, and although, well, I'm pretty sure there's a segment of our listeners who definitely love these, but I'm sure most people simply want like the mechanics, right? What am I supposed to do on a daily basis to make sales kind of information? Today, we are going to devote a little bit of time to some mindset.
No, not mindset. Who needs that crap?
Well, you kind of need it. In fact, in our new VIP site, we just redesigned our VIP Club members area. That's the first thing we do now. We kind of put in place a few key concepts regarding your mindset, regarding your belief system, because believe it or not, Jonathan, I've seen instances. I've seen this. I never spoke about this, but I've seen, like, imagine two different clients that are, fairly similar in the way they approach their business. Both are males in their 50s. Both are with the same company and use the exact same sales funnel. Okay. The only difference is that one lives somewhere in Connecticut, the other one is in like South Dakota or something like that. And they both use the same funnel. They both run the same company, so they got the same offer they're putting out, and they both use me for their traffic. So they both get the exact same traffic from the exact same source. And here is the predicament that I kind of stumbled into. One of them will make a ton of sales, all the way to the point of either making 50 to like 70% of their money back right away, and then kind of following up with the leads in addition to that and making high ticket sales on the back end, and really just constantly buying more traffic, just reinvesting again and again and again and again, while the other guy makes nothing, like nothing. And, it got me thinking, what's the difference if everything else is exactly the same? Now, I realize that if I were to follow them for 24 hours each and kind of, put down everything they were doing like in a notebook or something, then I would like review these side by side, I would find some differences for sure. But given that both of these guys had day jobs at the time, it got me puzzled, and I started consulting my coach Tom Beal and other people in my industry why that might be happening. And no one, including me, including, again, just some of the most smartest people I know when it comes to promoting biz ops, could tell any difference besides their mindset. One had a better mindset than the other, and that dictated the results they were getting in their business. So that is why I decided that today it is worth for us to take, the 20 minutes or 25 minutes to talk about, one of the mindset elements that I believe you have to put in place for yourself in order to succeed in this industry. That's definitely one of those, elements that I see in all top earners today, and that I definitely have had at the time when I started, and I still have it, only to a lesser extent because I do devote more time to my family at this point.
So what does that mean exactly? What does it mean to have a better mindset? How does one person have a better mindset than another?
Well, it really comes down to the goggles you wear to view the world, because, the world is really, in my belief, a projection of who we are. In other words, two different people can look at the same thing and see two different things, right? There's this famous drawing of an old lady that turns into a young lady if you can actually see her, and that's like a great example. So you can go ahead and Google that. Google the old lady and young lady painting or something like that, and you'll see it. Basically, if you're a positive person or something like that, you'll see a young woman turning around. And if you're a negative person, like I guess maybe doesn't even have to do anything with your negativity, but more so with your vision, you'll see an old person, an old lady looking at you. And, it's phenomenal. It just opens your eyes to the realization. It just allows you to recognize that two people can be looking at the exact same thing, seeing two completely different things, completely contrasting things. So when it comes to the real world, we're talking about infinite possibilities. We're talking about 10 different people looking at the exact same thing. Let's say, for the sake of the example, let's just take a traffic campaign. They can look at the exact same thing and see completely different things. They can look at the exact same company and arrive at completely different conclusions. So that usually dictates not only the way they see things, but the results they're getting, because that will also dictate their belief system.
I got to challenge you, bro. I have to challenge you right now. So you and me, we're very much alike on a lot of things, but we're different on our motivation scale. So earlier you said if you're a positive person, one thing, if you're a negative person, one thing. But one of the things that you always say on this show is that you're motivated by negative stuff. So is that really, being motivated by negative stuff doesn't get you negative results. So how the hell does that work?
Well, you're right about that, for sure. I did see the old lady in that picture. And it took me about 5 minutes of actually looking for the young lady until I actually saw the lady. And I only found it because I was told to go look for it, in other words. And yeah, I am motivated more by the negative. For instance, right now, I consider myself to be in the best shape of my life. I can do pull-ups.
Nice.
I do back exercise. I feel like I'm really fit. Okay, at least that's my perception of myself. And I even installed a pull-up bar in my home so I can do pull-ups more often because they're good for your back.
Nice.
They kind of stretch it out. So you see, that is a positive result that was driven by a negative instance where I hurt my back and I was chained to my bed for 2 weeks. Now, thankfully, my business allows me to work lying down. But there was another element which caused me to really take this seriously, and that is I was told that unless I get my back in shape, I will never be able to pick any heavy stuff up. Now, my daughter at this point weighs about 16 or 18 kilograms, which I think is like 30-something pounds. And I was basically told, that's what I heard, right? You're not allowed to pick your daughter up on your arms. You cannot hold her anymore. And so I said, oh, no, that's not going to happen. I'm definitely holding her in my arms again. And I started working out. So I did not this negative experience caused me to produce positive results. You're absolutely right. As far as, it's okay to be negative. It's okay to be a negative person, if you will, or a negativity focused person. You can still succeed, and you probably will succeed to a greater extent than a positive, driven person. But the point of this experiment with the old and young lady, and again, I hope you really go ahead and Google that or something, because it's really profound. It really opens your eyes, is to recognize that you could be going through the exact same experience as somebody else, but you can come out with completely different conclusions and beliefs. Like, I could have, in the midst of that back injury, I could have just said, well, now I'm kind of fucked and I have to be careful with my back. And I could have chosen not to exercise, and I could have maybe gotten a back surgery. That would have led to potentially, there was a 50-50 chance to me becoming paralyzed, for instance.
Yikes.
I could have chosen the option of a shot, which would relieve me of the pain, but would not solve the problem. Now, again, that could have been my decision. So that mindset of mine, the mindset element, I guess, the belief element, which caused me to go the exercise route, was I was looking for a long-term solution. I was not looking for a quick fix, which in and of itself is a big thing for our marketplace, because as you know, Jonathan, everybody's looking for that quick fix. I mean, they tell you they don't want to get rich overnight, but they sort of do. Their words and their actions kind of contradict each other.
For sure, man. So back to the mindset thing, right? Okay, so you can be negative. I like to say the carrot and the stick. You're motivated by the stick. I'm motivated by the carrot. You can still get the results. So how do you get your mind working so that it does get you the outcome that you're looking for, whether you're negative or positive?
Well, that's a great question. So, whether you are a positive or, like you said, like carrot-driven person or a stick-driven person, what you have to do is you have to create this inner sense of urgency, which puts you in a different frame of mind. It will force you to look at everything, around you as either something that gets you towards your goal of, let's just say the goal is to make $10,000 per month from home. So everything you will see then from that point forward is either something that gets you towards your goal or distracts you from that goal. So in other words, you must fully commit to your mission of making it until everything else seems like a distraction. So you have to be in that frame of mind, that belief system, right? In that way, when you encounter challenges, you will see your challenges as opportunities to excel. You will be able to accept challenges as learning lessons. In that frame of mind, if you get invited to a birthday party where A, you have to spend money on a gift, and B, you have to give time, which at least is a couple of hours probably, to that birthday party, you will ask yourself, is it worth my time? Is it worth for me to put down 2 hours and $50 in a gift here, rather than put this 2 hours towards my mission? And then you will have to weigh how good of a friend that person is, right? So obviously, if that's your really just your bestest friend, then you will go. But if not, you will be able to make a really good, in my opinion, decision to apologize to that person and basically go and devote that 2 hours to your mission, which is the important part of your life. Because if you are just like anything, just like anyone I talk to, if you're anything like me, back in the day when I was striving towards the goal of making that money, everything did seem like a distraction. And I sort of, the frame of mind that I've had, which may not be the healthiest, but that was my frame of mind at the time, was that until I achieved this goal, nothing else mattered. I did not have a family at the time. I had my parents and I had my girlfriend, but I didn't have a kid or anything like that. We weren't married yet. So my mission was to start making that money so I can, quote unquote, start my life. Because until it was, secure financially, I couldn't do anything that I really wanted to do, and I couldn't give my family anything from the things I really wanted them to have. So every single moment, every single day, every single week, for as long as I did not achieve that goal, during that time period, everything else seemed like a distraction. Every party, every movie, every sporting event, every trip, every problem even. I refused to deal with problems at the time. I literally told my girlfriend, she's my wife and she's the mother of my child, I said, look, anything that's not to do with money right now, you're the one to be handling that. She did not get me at first. And she actually didn't believe me, right? Because anytime there was a problem of any kind, she would come running to me expecting me to solve it. And I told her, no, you deal with it on your own. And she refused to do it at first, but eventually we achieved understanding and, she recognized what I was trying to do. So she became the filter between me and everything else. I refused to pick up the phone. That was the day, by the way, when I changed this frame of mind, that was the day when I stopped picking up the phone. And a lot of my friends and acquaintances and even my parents, they got really upset. In fact, my mother got upset to a point where she stopped talking to me for 6 months.
Wow.
Because I did not pick up the phone. And when I did, feel the urgency of picking up the phone because it's so difficult, right, to resist when the darn thing rings, she would be like, so how's your day going? It's going fine. Did you want anything? No, I'm just calling to see how your day is going. Okay, it's going fine. So I'll talk to you later. These were the conversations that I started having with people. And it really just allowed me to compress time to get way more productive. And again, I committed myself to this mission to a point of everything else being a distraction. And even working 2 jobs at the time, all of a sudden I didn't have any time problems. Because while at the job, I still managed to find the time to, advance my business. For instance, my first successful information product, which was called Crossing the Free Line, which is a 13-page PDF report on list building, where I introduced the concept of, not giving free stuff away. That was the very first time I actually spoke about it. I took Aben Pagan's Moving the Free Line and I said, that is a big mistake. Don't do it. Here's what you do instead. And I put like a little diagram and then wrote 13 pages explaining that diagram. I wrote it in 3 sittings while I was selling lottery tickets, to regular people in a store, during very slow days. I clearly remember sitting behind the counter. I had a chair and I had another chair. I'm not sure why there were 2 chairs, but there was another chair. And so I was sitting on one of them and I put my laptop on the other under the counter and I was sitting down. My back was like, right now I probably couldn't put my back in this kind of position. That would hurt a lot. But back in the day, my back was still healthy and I would be typing like crazy, hoping that no one walks in. I was actually hoping that, this store would not have any customers that day. But of course, but that was the commitment. That was the commitment level that I showed towards my mission, which I don't see too many people showing, Jonathan. I don't see too many people willing to make these sacrifices. I see people willing to pay money. I see people willing to let's just say, our done for you email service. Like a couple of months ago, we started a fully automated done for you daily email service for people who promote business opportunities. And, I see people willing to commit financially to have someone else do things for them, but I don't see people showing up with an attitude of, I am the one, like I am willing to do whatever it takes. Not I am willing to pay you whatever you want me to pay you to do whatever, so you do whatever it takes. Can you feel the difference with the two mindset?
Absolutely. So I want to push back a little bit, and hopefully I don't take us over here, but I want to push back to the part where you got that single-minded focus. Your family, everybody was set aside while you were chasing your goals. What would you say to the people that tout the idea of work-life harmony or work-life balance? Because it doesn't sound like you were balanced at that time.
I was not. And you're right. I'll be the first one to admit it. I couldn't see anything else. My goggles, like the goggles I was viewing my life with, were just about that goal. I committed to that goal, so everything else was really a distraction. And, life and work balance was definitely not on the agenda anymore. Now, is it a good thing for most people? Probably not. But is it necessary to achieve real success in this industry? Probably. In fact, I'll say it like that. I haven't seen anyone who hasn't committed this way that actually achieved real success. In other words, if you're a person who works a day job, whether full-time or part-time, and you're building this business on the side, until you put yourself in that frame of mind, you will always have reasons not to commit. You'll always have reasons, or should I say, you always have obstacles that get in the way that will always conquer you. You'll forever remain a prisoner to those circumstances and to those obstacles and to the challenges and to the walls you'll be hitting because of that specific frame of mind of work and life balance. So in other words, if you're looking to take the weekend off from both your business and your day job because you're tired and because you just need it, then you know what? Stop fucking fooling yourself and don't tell me that you want to make $10,000 per month from home because obviously you value rest more than you do achieving this goal. And mark my words, when you're closing on your retirement, you will feel that sense of urgency I'm talking about right now, but it might be too late to build the necessary foundation and the time, and you will step into retirement, okay, having all these financial issues, and it'll be 10 times more difficult for you to build something because you will constantly be held back by all these problems, which again, you might not even experience if you just committed on the proper level today.
Yeah. So back to your point about people who might prefer to just throw money at a problem rather than do the work. I see it all the time. And even now, you and me are both that way where we will throw money at some stuff to get it off our plate. But there still is a level of commitment, a level of sacrifice, a level of pain that you're going to feel as an entrepreneur and as a business owner that you just got to get comfortable with. So yeah, we all sacrifice to get here. But the thing that I see, and I'm sure you see it too, Igor, is that people think that they can just jump ahead of that pain, buy their way out of it, and not go through the growing pains of owning your own business. And that's just not the way it is.
Absolutely. And of course, I wish I could just blame the people. That would make it so much easier. But I mean, guys like you and me, Jonathan, also carry a part of that blame because we sell this dream, right? We sell this idea that you can have the perfect work and life balance. And, and it's funny because you're actually the one living it. I mean, I see you posting on Facebook like this just annoys me so much. Trust me, it's not personal, but it annoys me so much. You post these, you're going through the Da Vinci cartoon or drawing course right now, right?
Yeah.
And I see your progress. Like you're popping on my newsfeed and I see, the Kung Fu Pandas and the Minions and other things that you're drawing, like Shrek and stuff like that. And I'm so fucking jealous. I want to draw. I love drawing. In fact, I would love to learn how to do this stuff so I can teach Erica how to do it because it's fun. It's creative. It develops her physical ability to move fingers and stuff like that and creativity as well. And I've always, wanted to learn something like that. But honestly, I did not put a priority on it. And here I am looking at you doing it because I know you are living that perfect life and work balance. You wake up at 4 a.m., you get the work done, and then you got the rest of the day to yourself, to the addition you guys had to the family recently, to your wife, And, it's awesome. You are living that lifestyle. However,
Yeah.
I'm sure it didn't just happen to you. I'm sure at some point you had to build the proper foundation to do it, and you took the time and you were committed to it. I'm sure you didn't just start out having the perfect, 4-hour days or, 2-hour workday.
No, Igor, it's only been 13 years. That's all. That's all it took.
Yeah, so that's the point I'm trying to
man.
make. That's the point I'm trying to make. Right now, after years of putting mechanisms and systems in place, you are enjoying it. And for me, I'm getting there right now. After 8 years or 9 years, for the first 7, I wasn't living that. I was just taking as much, work and as many opportunities I could possibly take. And I was committed. But then, Erica showed up. So, red flag, gotta stop. Then my health, red flag, chill, right? Then before that, I think I shared about my marriage when I showed up home and my wife wasn't there. So
Yeah.
all these red flags pointed me in the right direction, and to create the proper work and life balance. Now, I do love my work and I still choose to work between 4 and 8 hours per day. I still want to do it. But now I have way more leverage in my business. And the days I don't feel like it, I'll do the minimum and then I'm done,
That's it. That's being rich. Well, look, the way I define being rich is having options. And you have the option to say, yeah, I'm going to go hard today, or no, I'm not. And that's, to me, being rich.
Yeah, absolutely. And, besides being rich, of course, let's not forget the fulfillment. For some people, they think that fulfillment is the perfect life balance. Okay. I mean, for you, it's obviously having the ability to surf, to get some alone time, right? To do these things. For me, honestly, I get a hard on from writing a really good sales letter that converts. I really feel bad if I don't write an email or two for a couple of days. That's how I am. I want to let my creativity out. I need this to feel good. Now, at the same time, while I put all these in place and I do devote time to my business, still, I make the time to work out. I make the time for my family, right? I make the time for my daughter. So whatever is important, right? You have to make the time for it. Absolutely. And your life should be structured around your work. I agree. Your work should not dictate the life until a certain point, though, right? Until a certain point. In other words, there will be times in your life when work will dictate it until you reach a point when you choose for the work not to dictate it anymore. So I can't really imagine myself being 18 years old or something like that, or really just being in a bad place financially and not put in 16 hours a day towards one single goal. And that is to getting rich. Like, I just can't imagine myself doing something like that.
Amen, brother. Amen. So anything else as we're wrapping up?
Yeah, just a reminder. Commit yourself to your goal until everything else seems like a distraction. Commit yourself to this goal and always check in with yourself at every step of the way. I'm talking, every hour. Not just every day or every week or every month. Most people kind of set a goal and just throw the piece of paper out, and then sort of find it 2 years later to check if they achieved it. I'm talking check in with your goals every fucking hour to see if you're on track, because you will get distracted. Life will get in the way. People will try to steal your time. Okay, even your loved ones, especially your loved ones, will try to steal your attention and ask you to put that attention towards something else that's not your goal. So if right now you are struggling financially or you are trying to hit a financial goal, okay, you have to quite literally put it in front of you at all times. I'm talking put it on your wall where you're working, put it on the back side of your laptop, on the lid, right? So before you open the laptop, you see the damn goal written on it. Put it on your fucking desktop. Put it on the back of your spouse. Just so they do whatever you have to do so that goal is constantly in your mind and everything else is literally a distraction.
There it is. All right, so that's a wrap for another edition of List Building Lifestyle. Thank you, List Builders, for tuning in. And thank you, Igor, for the motivation today. We'll be back in your earbuds next time.
Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.